regular pencil, you know, with wood on it. One of those old-fashioned pencils, and I sharpen it with my pocket knife. Because if I put it in a sharpener, it's actually too sharp. You know, so I like drawing with a blunt end. You know,
Who started drawing first? Who your brother?
Who started drawing first? Let's ask who draws better. Let's we both got into the business at the same time. We went through my dad's school, you know, graduated at the same time. So he's like a machine. I mean, this is better than a computer, you know. Well, actually, I'm at Marvel, so no, I'm not going to continue drawing.
Were you nervous when you first started trying to get into the business?
Was I nervous? Every job I get, I'm nervous. You know, I was doing a signing with Jason Aaron, and I told him, you know, he said, "So how's the story? How do you like it?" I said, you know, anytime I first read a script, it scares me, you know, because I'm not sure of the characters, I'm not sure of the surroundings. Until I gather up all my reference, then I'm more at ease. So, you know, I would say it's more excitement than it is being nervous. But my first few jobs, yeah, I was very, you know, anxiety ridden.
Which artists inspire you?
Well, the one standing right in front of you, that one. I lettered Heavy Metal magazine back in the 80s and early 90s. So I got to see a lot of the European artists. I like Mobius is probably my all-time favorite. I like Serpieri. I like Minara. Currently, I mean, I love Jim Lee. I like Silvestri, all those guys. Really, Arthur Adams. Anything that's of high quality, I have up in my studio and I look at, and I'm influenced by it.
What do you like to see in scripts when you get them from the writer?
A good story. More, you know, most importantly, it really, you know, it's not a joke. A good story, because I think I do my best work, and I think any cartoonist does his best work if the story is a good story, rather than just a series of pinup shots or something that doesn't mean anything.
When you brought the mixed media stuff into your work, did you do that because you were bored, or as a storytelling device, so to speak?
Well, the story is what dictates how I draw it. So if it's a flashback, or if it's, you know, some other kind of sequence, I'll try to draw it in a different way. The mixed media stuff that I do a number of. I played around with drawing on cardboard, different colored papers and things like that. It is because I get bored, because it interests me to try different things. But it's always story derivative.
Is there anything specific that you have trouble drawing? Like big buildings or cars, I don't know, whatever. You have trouble with?
Horses. I suck at horses. And the last story I'm working on is like there's a lot of horses. You know, thank God it takes place like in medieval times, so they have, you know, a lot of clothing on, so I don't have to, you know, I can kind of hide it.
What's your best preserved memory?
You know, every time I think about the experience that the students and I had going out to his museum is a great memory. You know, it's you know, I don't have any one thing I can think of.
Are there any Silver Age or Golden Age characters that have made your lives that you want to work on them?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I did over at DC were some Hawkman covers. Obviously, because I have some ties to that through my genes. If I were to go over to DC, I think that would be a character I would love to do.
Since you guys are basically the story directors, do you follow any film directors or cartoon directors?
I can't hear you.
Since you guys basically direct the story after the writer writes it up, do you follow any like film directors or cartoon directors?
Well, I love going to the movies, you know, as far as following any in particular. Tracy, what do I like? It's my wife. You know, any good movie, you know, I don't really pay attention to who's directing it, but...
Tell me my opinions.
The striped shirt? Yeah.
Joe, can you explain what you're doing right now? I noticed you're inking a little bit along with whistling at the same time. Is that something that...
Oh, he's asking you a question.
Can you explain your process of drawing right now? I noticed you're inking as well as drawing and laying out the
I'm not following any rules at all.
Do you encourage your students to do this as well, ink as a pencil?
I'm not using that.
You know, if they can do it like this, they can do it however they want.
No, freestyle.
I'm at a point where I feel uncertain about what I'm doing.
I'm sure.
I have a sense, I think, of kind of figure it out that I want to put down. And even at this stage of the game, I think it's probably more intuitive than it is scholastic. Adam says, I've acquired a sense of concentration where I can hear what's going on and I can still concentrate completely and totally on what I'm doing here. As I've said many times in my office, is anybody who knocks on my door comes right in. I may be working on 3 different jobs at the same time. I'll stop, I'll
get back to Rome, I'll pop into my MacBook and just download it.
The question comes in through the door, immediately go back to my drawing. And
John will
I think
appreciate
that comes from all the years of working on the stuff where I can switch my concentration that quickly. And even at this advanced age that you see in front of you now, I think as a result of my past training, I can still continue to do that. Thank God. I would hope it continues. I'm lucky enough, and I count my blessings every day. I'm lucky enough to have been in this business over 70 years, and I am still being called once or twice a week through today, asking by other publishers, by other people, Joe, do you have some time to do this? Joe, do you have some time to do that? I do, at this stage of the game, I'm doing what I love to do, and people are paying me. How lucky can you get? And then on top of that, I have 2 sons who seem to love the business as much as I do. Not because I pushed them into it, not because I said this is something you must do, I don't know what the heck it was, but I find myself really, really fortunate. And believe me, I count my blessings every day.
When you find yourself with an established style, that you mainly obviously have, how much would you say you take inspiration from other artists' skills? Or do you take inspiration from other artists?
I pay attention to what other people are doing, and if I see something I like, I just, you know, it's not that I'm influenced by it whether I like it or not. You know what I mean? Back there?
Can you speak about how you feel about the importance of figure drawing from life for comic books?
That's a good question. Figure drawing from life for comic books. One of the assignments that I give my students every now and then, it's an assignment actually in addition to the regular assignment, is to sketch from life. to take 5 pieces of paper, whatever kind of paper, I don't care if it's a napkin or a tissue or a menu from a restaurant or whatever, but fill it up with sketches from, or fill it up from things that they look at, that they can see. I tell them I always carry around a pen myself, and I'm always sketching. I mean, you could ask my wife. I'm always, I pull the pen out and I just start drawing. I think that's the most important aspect of what we do, or what we could do as artists to improve. Because what we're doing is we're taking snapshots with our eyes and with our brain. And with each snapshot, you remember a little bit of it. You can't remember all of it, but you remember a little bit of it. And I just try to impress upon the students that this is a life thing that we do. You have to continually work on it and improve, because really, if you don't use it, you lose it. Drawing from life is one of the most important things that you can do. We have figure drawing classes at the school, nude figure drawings, and also clothes. Wrinkles in clothing are difficult also. Yeah.
If you would have
on a train? Well, I couldn't just draw just for the heck of it. I have to draw something that interests me. So if I see a person that has some interesting features, I'll pick that up. Or if I see clothing that I haven't seen before that looks interesting, I'll pick that up. And these are all little things that you pick up and put in your draw that you use for later.
I think it's very important for people to know, if you have anybody in your family who draws, especially a young person, you've got to know that that person, if they really like to draw, is the one place that they can really, really be hurt inadvertently. If somebody looks at a drawing that somebody's attempted to do, some young person is attempted to do, and you criticize it to the point where you feel that they're mistakes or they should be redone, you've got to be very careful doing that, because you can stop that person's incentive to want to do that because you hurt them where they live. This is really being able to draw, or wanting to draw, is almost like taking a piece out of yourself and putting it down on paper, exposing yourself completely to that. I think it's also important, therefore, as Adam has mentioned, to have that sketchbook with you all the time. If you're interested in doing this kind of drawing. But if you're doing the drawing, remember, those sketches are yours. They're not for criticisms. You're not doing it to please anybody else but yourself. That's the only reason that you're doing that drawing. And you'll suddenly find that you feel a freedom in doing those drawings that you never had before. If you feel that somebody is standing over your shoulder and commenting or critiquing what you're doing, that could be a killer for anybody who really wants to or really loves to draw. So you got to treat that person who has that feeling about his drawing with some sensitivity, because it can be killed just like that. I know more high school and pre-high school art teachers who have killed more feelings for people who wanted to draw than those who encouraged them to go on, just because they inadvertently came down too heavy on what that young person was doing. You've got to be very careful, I think. But Adam's suggestion to do sketches, well, carry a sketchbook with me. I carry a sketchbook with me all the time. I don't take photographs. When I travel, I've been fortunate to go to a whole bunch of different places. I make sketches of the things I see because I find I can retain the details of those things that I've seen much more effectively than if I took a photograph. But that's for me. Nobody has seen those sketches but me. They're mine.
We're going to publish those sketches someday. So everybody can see them. I think at this point we're going to pick a ticket out of a raffle, because we raffled off this drawing. All the money for this raffle is going to National Cartoonist Society.